All right, interesting. I have no clue what happened, but all of the streams were gone, completely gone. So I think we should be back and we should be live. But let me know in the comments if you see we are live in this case, because I think all the services got disrupted and for some reason the Windows got crazy. I have no clue what happened. Anyways, so first of all, let's have a look at the backup app here. So in here we should have the head, and the head should only have, all right, that's the head components, and we have the layout wrapper, and then the layout wrapper should have the header, the site logo, and everything that comes within the app. So if I go here, we do have the layout wrapper now. We do have the analytics here as well, and we do have the children as well. But can I go ahead and see the components in this case? So if I go to, I should also have the React Chrome extension. I think I'm sort of not really having that. Let's add the extension, and then also let's go and try out the extension to see which components do we end up having. So if I go here in the components tree, what do we have here? We have the React overlay, blah blah blah, home, page SEO, head, and then we just have these components. So we have a bunch of components here, but what I want to really see is the app here. So app has home, page SEO, but it doesn't have the layout wrapper. Why does it not have the layout wrapper in this case? Can I go and put a heading here? So let's put a heading here. We could say something like, hey, hey, and let's have a look at that. Nope. So there's nothing there. We do have some errors as well. I think that could be one of the reasons. So it says Firebase error, need to provide options when not being deployed to hosting via source. But can it not provide the options in this case? Mm-hmm. In this case, we should have the initialize app. All right, let's see. So if I go to the app here, sources, app layout. Mm-hmm. We should also have the initialize app. Let's see. No, it's not there. Let's have a look at the calls as well. So for the JavaScript one, let's refresh. So we do have the main here. No sign of initialize app. No sign of that here as well. Nope. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, let's have a look. So now that we have the app layout, and we also have, let's also try to do one thing. I think there's something missing. So I'm going to do a next purge so I can actually work with the app layout JS. You could also just make it JS in this case. I think it should still be good. We are also going to refresh this and see what comes out of it. So the global styles can go into the app. Okay. Now I think I know what the problem is. It should not be app layout. It should be layout.js. That's the problem. Then can I go and say layout.js? No. Uh, 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 uh. But then in here we do have next, and then we have webpack, development, build chunks, pages. W- Why do we have the app.js coming here in this case? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then we have the index.js as well. All right, let's have a look at here. So in the components, in the pages, we do have the index.js, which is this one, which makes sense. Then we have the, but we don't have the app.js at all. Should we something, should we change this to this? And we do have some errors as well. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this is when you're running the Firebase in this case. So now if I go back to my layout.js, we're not using page props anywhere, but we could. I do want to see what the console.log, children, and also component, and also page props. And in the next config, I did change the experimental app dir true. So client and server, no problems here. 404, no problems here. In this case, we also don't have any issues, but I don't get any logs in this case. Is that because it doesn't care about, wait a second, what did we miss? So let's see. So in this case, we should have, first of all, migrating document app. So we move to a client component. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. In this case, we do have the app layout. Okay. So then we should go ahead and see dashboard layout. In this case, we do have children, and then you, okay, see before and after example. So in this case, we did have the dashboard layout from dashboard. Okay. Components, dashboard layout, and now you can have a page. And from the page, you can actually, all right, you can do a get layout. Mm-hmm. Well, let's see if we are using get layout anywhere. Mm-hmm. 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 But that doesn't really know. That doesn't follow that one. Then import the dashboard layout into a new layout in the app directory. Mm-hmm. In the pages directory, the next head React component is used to manage head HTML elements such as title, meta. Next head is replaced with the built-in SEO support in this case. So pages index TSX instead of next head. What we do now is export const metadata, and then you have the, okay, then you have the default. Interesting. So how about we actually take one by one? So let's say that we are going to do a index.js migration. So we go to, we do have the layout.js in which we have the HTML, the head component that we are getting it from the next head. But they said that you should rather be using something else. But we will C. So now I'm going to go ahead and say something like index.js. And then we would have to move all the things from the index.js to this one. But then we have a bunch of things to take care of. So I'm going to actually keep everything as it is. But then what would change is mm-hmm. So in this case, migrate the pages. Pages in the app directory are server components by default. They're different from the pages directory where pages are client components. Data fetching has changed in the app, blah, blah, blah. So pages directory, index.js becomes the page.js in there. So that should then be the page.js. First thing first. Then we recommend breaking down the migration of page to two main steps. Move the default exported page component into a new client component. Okay. Import the new client component into a new page.js file inside the app directory. Okay. So then where do you keep that client component? The create new separate file inside the app directory, homepage tsx or something, something. Okay. Okay, then I think I understand. So in this case, you would say something like homepage.js, and that would essentially have the use client up top, directive on top of, move the default exported page component from okay. Then what you do is from the page.js, you default or you move this whole thing to the home page in this case. And then we would also have to import all the things that we are missing, but then yeah, I can add it anyways. So in this particular case, I could go ahead and add all of this for now. And then what do you do? So once we have all of this, that does, all right, homepage, recent posts. This is a client component. It receives the data as props and has access to the state and effect just like page components. Okay. And then you render on top of it. Okay. Then you can create a new app page.tsx file in the app directory. This is a server component by default. And then you import this. And then if you were fetching data in pages, okay. I was not. So I think we should be good. Import homepage from homepage. You do get post, blah, blah, blah. So this is a server component. And then you render it with the as in the client component, but you have to have the page as default. If your previous page uses use router, you need to update the new routing hooks. No. Okay, we'll see. But are we using use router? No, we are not using use router in this case at all. So we go ahead in here and you replace everything with this. So default function page, nothing at all. And then you just import the home from homepage. And this doesn't take any inputs at all. And it doesn't take any of these at all. So I think we should be good. Conflicting app and page files was found. Please remove the conflicting files. Page/index.js and app page.js. Thank you. Now I think I'm starting to make sense. So now I could say backup index.js compiled successfully. Now how does this look like now? So conflicting app, blah, blah, blah. Do we still have the conflict? No. Conflict page.js is a page index.js. But we don't have the index.js now. Let's dot next. And then please run the dev. All right, let's see. Unable to connect. Why though? Let's see. Okay, so now what's happening? Compiling page, client and server. Warning, you're using next head inside the app directory. Please migrate to the metadata API. Yes, We're gonna do that in just a bit. Please wait. But what else? Firebase need to provide options. I think that's okay. Okay, now we have some good errors that you could work with. You're importing a component that needs use effect. It only works in the client component, but none of its parent are marked with use client. So they're server components by default. Okay. And then the client reload JS is something that is causing the issue. That makes sense. So we're importing. If I go ahead and go to, let's see, was it the page.js? No, I think it was the layout.js. So in the layout.js, we do have the theme provider, but we also had the client reload. Yeah, this one. What did this do? Reload or reverse path and define scroll false. I think it should. I think the client reload itself, we could move it and say use client. So just like we have it here, we're gonna put it like this. So it knows that it is only going to do it on the client side. And then what do we have? We also have the mobile nav. So let's see the mobile nav here. Going to be using it in the client side. Then we have profile menu. Does it come with the I think it comes with the layout wrapper, or let's see. So the page.js, or no, the layout.js, it comes with layout wrapper, right? And the layout wrapper has all of those. Okay. So if I just go ahead and do it here, I don't have to do it on every component. And I think we should be good. Okay. Then I can go ahead and say to page.js. And which components did I just change? Client reload. I could remove it like this. Oh no, I need that. Sorry. Mobile nav, I could remove this. And then profile menu. Don't need that. Okay. So now let's have a look at the other things as well. So the use context only works in client components, and we are trying to do it in theme. So that means that where we have the page.js, I believe this layout wrapper or the theme provider itself that we have, and that we have done it. Now the thing is, I could move it inside the theme. So we do have analytics that I think it doesn't use any hooks, so that's fine. So I think we could rather go ahead and do something like this. So we could have something like this, and then we could remove the layout in the layout wrapper, or the theme inside the layout wrapper. So we could have this, and we could move it like this, and then we can say theme provider. Okay, and let's see. So create context only works in but I did put the use client here. No. Server app page.js. The page.js that we have, which is here. Oh, this, no. So the home essentially gets to have it. So then the layout wrapper doesn't get to have this, or no, I'm confused. So the layout is supposed to just be there. Let's see, upgrade guide, layout, pages and layout. So in this case, we did have the layout, which was hey, dashboard layout is gonna have a layout, will be a page or nested layout. That makes sense. So the topmost layout is called root layout. This required is shared. All pages must contain HTML and body text. Okay. Layouts are route on layouts are server components, but can be set to a client component. Hmm. The problem that I think we have is if I look at the page.js, then I would say this is going to be a use client because it doesn't have to be a server side rendered. And right now we do have the next themes that comes into page.js. So we really don't have to have that one. Wait a second. Let's see. So layout says use layout wrapper. That is a use client. Then we have the page.js that imports home from the home page. The theme that I'm using right now, it is inside the layout, right? Oh, the theme provider, I had to remove it. It was just the yeah, it was just the weird import. Okay, then can I then do this? Yeah. And then we have show ads. I don't know, just put it through here. I do want to see the UI, please. Objects are not valid if you meant to run the collection. Da da da. All right, can I do a? I have no clue what you're doing there. So let's see. So where? Work loop, flush work, message port, begin work, blah blah blah. And I do see my camera die. Let's see. Okay. Let's see that one. So if I have to look at the console here, it says it got a promise. Where did you get this? Wait a second. If I had to just do something like, hey, I don't want to do that, but I do want to go ahead and say children. Children. No. And can I see where this is coming from really? Performance current workout, workout loom. If you meant to render collection of children, use an array instead. So that layout wrapper is not the issue. What about analytics? No, that's not the issue as well. What is the thing about head? That's not even the issue as well. So this occurs in a Okay, so that means if I'm running and rendering the children, that's where it becomes a problem. So the children is the case here. All right, so that's good to know. Then in the children, that means it goes to the home page. In the home page, it tries to render something that is not supposed to be rendered. So is it because we have, I don't know. Let's see. Why do we have this error then? Ah, wait a second, please. Can I comment this? No. We do have some overlays in here. Why do we have the okay? But then can I now comment this? Yay. So objects are not rendered as React, blah blah blah. Then if I need to run this, that's also not a problem. Page SEO has no problems at all. But what I'm trying to understand is then why would this not be working? So in this case, you have components, you have page props, and then you've got children. The type of the children is blah blah blah. We got all of these components as well. But why? Component client reload cannot resolve buffer util. What? That's a bit weird. So we are getting errors that should not be there at all. And then we have this as well. Let's put that back. And did we use yarn here or npm? So npm. Okay, so this is interesting. Let's have a look at why we would have all these problems. So let's quickly close the components folder. So we are rendering home. Inside the home, we're doing a bunch of stuff and then we just render some stuff. So let's say I decided to say, all right, no, I'm not gonna do any of this and just rather have a heading in here and that says hey, and then that's it. So in this particular situation, I should, if I'm importing a lot of components, that's true in this case, but all of them should still be client side, so that's still okay. We'll see once this installs. We're going to see why do we have the errors. Let's see. But in the meantime, feel free to ask any questions. All right, let's see. Npm run dev. So we do see some errors inside need to provide options, blah, blah, blah. And that is course post layout. And that is when they're trying to render it. But that is okay. Or not really okay, but it's still not too bad. But let's see if we are able to render anything at the end of this. But the thing in this case would be need to provide options when not being deployed hosted by a source. And this is at course post layout. Hmm. Okay, let's see. So in the layout, we are saying, all right, you have children in this case that has type of symbol react element. Okay. But then isn't it something that should rather go and say something, I don't know, h2, hey. So as soon as we go to the children, that becomes a problem. If I remove this here, then we have a problem. And if I go to home page and I have a bunch of things being imported, that doesn't cause any issue. Are we doing a return in any case? शाहिद इकबाल कह रहे हैं चाय पियो. नहीं यार, I don't have चाय अभी. तो yes, not gonna happen. So if I go ahead and say if true, what happened? Save without formatting. Found object promise. Why does it say found object promise? This is a bit weird. Layout router. Mm-hmm. No, I this is a bit weird. Why would you have the not found boundary, not found error boundary? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think the reason could be कि हमारे पास पहले we are getting the mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Let's see if I can find if this common error. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Interesting. Are we using async anywhere? No. We do have the get banners, but we don't have to work with that at the moment, at least. And then we have the client reload as well. Let's see. So user fag, socket on, blah blah blah. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. शायद इकबाल says feel sorry for you. क्यों ऐसा क्यों? क्योंकि मेरे पास चाय नहीं है. अभी it's not the time at the moment, unfortunately. YouTube validation. All right, let's do one thing. I don't really want the client reload JS. Let's go to layout and remove client reload. We do have the layout wrapper जो हम use कर रहे थे. I think that's fine. Then I think the rest of the stuff is also good. But then it still tries to render all of it. You get the initial app, get apps, Firebase app. We're not really using anything at all in this particular case, but in the page JS. Oh, because this is a default. Now I see what the problem is here. This is not supposed to be an async function. Okay. Then I can revert everything or up. This should be working. Let's get this back. There we go. ठीक है, next router was not mounted. Now that's interesting. तो ये हमने बाकी सारी चीज़ें इंस्टॉल कर ली थी. Layout, let's go back to what it was before. And we had layout wrapper जो कि children को import कर रहा था, and I think we should be good. Next router was not mounted. All right, let's have a look at this. ये क्या बताता है? We spend 80% of our working hours debugging and the rest of 20% coding. I would say it's just 100% programming. So it's not really something that is bad. It is the way things work. What this is, a component use router outside the Next.js application or was rendered outside the Next.js application. If used in a test, where do I use the use router? We do use it in the SEO. Okay. But why do we use the router in this case? Aha, router.aspath. Aha, okay. Interesting. Then where do we use this? In the common SEO, page SEO, tag SEO, and then yeah, overall. Okay. We'll fix one thing at a time. So let's say we try to go to homepage. It says use router in the common SEO. We don't have that in the common in the router, and the common SEO is should also no. The thing is, this should happen on the server side, and that means then so we're using this outside of the app. If I open this further, where was this? Not from that's not the one. Next router, yeah, here. And this ends up in there. Common SEO, use router. But SEO.js, let's see if I can find SEO.js. SEO. Oh, so I pick it up from the common SEO, but then that means it's not. Interesting. Why did the Next.js developer quit his job? Because he didn't want to deal with more get initial props errors. Exactly. Yep. So true. All right. So the page SEO that we're trying to get it here gets applied here, but then it says don't do it, and rather just add everything in the sorry. Then rather do it from the other side of it. But in this particular case, if I had to do this in here, the only place that I'm using the router itself is router as path, and that is it essentially. So if I had to go to the URL in this case, then shouldn't it be all right, let's have a look at the next router documentation. So next router mock, no, we don't want to go there. Nope. Docs router. Are we using React Router DOM? I don't think so. No, we are not using it. So then we should look into router, next router. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But then, then the question is, it was changed 2 weeks ago. Okay. Then the question is, if I have to go into pages, index TSX, then I'm not really using any because it does it automatically. So the thing is, if I'm using this in the app and I'm not really, you started from the next navigation. That's an interesting suggestion. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Says the default is not a function. Maybe it is supposed to be a named export. Yeah, I think that fixes the issue. Cool, thank you. But then why is that the case? So if I have to go to, if you want to access the router object in any function component in your app, you can use the use router hook. Take a look at the following example. But why do I have to import it from navigation in this case? Resetting state after navigation. Da, da, da. So what is the difference between this one and from next navigation? Next link, next router. Mm-hmm. This fixes the issue, and I'm thinking why. But then also we have the get app. Da, da, da. Okay, so let's have a look at this one as well. So profile menu that we have. Profile menu. This ends up in, I think this ends up in layout wrapper. Okay, and this one has a use client. Okay, and then when it tries to go to get the app in this case, that fails. And that fails because the layout.js, this fails to do this in this case. So the question is console.log. And here, if I could say apps, get apps, oops. So I need to see that. I should have it here. So the apps are empty. Then you do an initialize app, but you can't really do it in the app, right? You would have to do it in the, you would have to do on the client side. So that really doesn't go in here. You would have to do it in the front end. So what do we do in this case? Let's say that we send it to the layout wrapper, which is a use client, and then we do it there. So that's, so let's say we go ahead and do, all right, Firebase config. You're gonna get the Firebase config just like this, and then you do what you do best. So in this case, I can actually do this, save, and then go to layout wrapper, and inside here, I could do this. Or I could have just, no, wait a second. I could have just put all the code here actually, because the environments are available on the front end as well via the process env. So I could go ahead and remove that guy. Then I could also remove this from here. Go here. Ashdar Kareem, how's it going? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we do have the Firebase config. Now we don't have to pass it because the layout wrapper already has that. And now I can save this and see if things work. Yes. Yay. They do. Yay. Okay. finally we have something. So let's also save this. I think Twitch stream just crashed. Sad. Let's see if I can reset it. Yay. So finally, yeah, it works. I do have some issues that I could see. So first of all, the theming is not probably the best, and yeah, a lot of things won't work in this case. A lot of things will not work. So we do have the get app. We're gonna have to put everything inside the layout wrapper. Um, we have the children here. We do have the home page that works as it should, without any issues as far as I can see. Um, we do have the layout in which we are importing the CSS files for this one. We do have the theme. No, wait a second. This is the layout JS. So let's not put it there, but rather into the. Do we have any styles here? No, we don't have it. So we do have the layout wrapper. Should we be putting our CSS here in this case? And if I go back, something weird happens. Like all the buttons turn not how I want them to. So the styles are broken right now. About courses, blah, blah, blah. They are not really working in this case. So we got a bunch of, right. We should also go ahead and remove the console log that we have here. So we saw there's essentially nothing in this case, or the homepage JS in this case. We had this. That's fine. And let's have a look at the styles in this case. So what we end up with, and that is the theme that we have. So not profiler, but rather component. So we have the layout wrapper, we have the context provider, we have some links here, but where do we have the theme? So we have the theme switch that could click here, do this. Where do I have this? Hey. Yeah, let's remove that there. So the theme attribute comes with the theme provider. The children come here. It's also fine. But now it works. No, it didn't work. If I no, it worked for some reason, right? No, so now this works when I switch it. But when I refresh the app, then it doesn't work. Why does it not work then? So this is okay. This is okay. If I refresh now, everything goes to why? Why though? Why? Du-du-du. Du-du-du-du-du. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So let's see. The theme provider gets rendered when we have the layout component that goes to the front end. The theme provider itself should be set automatically, and we shouldn't have to be worrying about what theme to essentially set there, because it should get it from the last saved value. I believe it saves it in the. I'm not sure if it saves in the. Yeah, the theme here is dark, so I think it saves it in the local storage. Theme default theme switch, theme provider, theme switch. Is it the Does it come from any of my components? Yes, it does. So we do have the theme here. We do have the set mounted true, theme, dark, result theme, blah blah blah. Let's have a look at that. Do we get to have the no, don't go there. Don't go there yet. So when it tries to set the theme, goes bunkus. So the color scheme here is dark. Let's see if I refresh this. The color scheme here is set to dark. The body does not get any class here. When I switch this, look at that. So the body doesn't get the class here. That's why. All right. So what did we have before? If I go to the app, backup app, we had the component, we had the head here, the theme provider. It could be because the document here is here, the body is here, but then it can't really go ahead and supply that, unfortunately. But then we have two different body elements. What? Let's have a look at here. So if I have a look at the elements in this case, we should have the body, body, then that's one body. Okay. So I think it combines everything inside it. So if I go ahead and say, all right, this is going to be a second body. The question is, am I going to be able to find it in the UI? Second body? Nope. If I go ahead and say something like, all right, I'm also going to have a heading here that says something, then would that be something that could come out of this? Something? No. So my document is not being used at all in this case. That makes sense somehow. But then the class that we have itself, when we go ahead and we use the theme switch that says use theme, and then it says set theme, resolve theme. So when we say set theme, it should go and say, all right, am I mounted and the theme is dark? Then you do something like this. Otherwise, the other thing, and that is also, but we did have, I'm thinking. In the layout, we do have the layout wrapper. The layout wrapper has use client. It also has the theme switch, but it also should have the theme provider. And the attribute is class. Force theme, default theme, themes, string. Okay. I think the reason is because this theme provider cannot come. No. But what happens when I keep this light? The light doesn't have anything. So style is being applied here, but not the class. Color scheme, dark, class light. And this class is not applied at all. All right, let's have a look at the theme switcher in this case. So if I go to theme switch, if I say something like, hey, use effect set mounted true, and when you do the set mounted to true and then the theme, can I also do it like this? console.log theme and mounted. No, just the theme, I think. Theme resolve theme. Okay, let's just try this out. So we do have apps here. Refresh. So the theme is light, the resolve theme is light. So what happens in this case when we do the set theme? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. If it's dark, let's see what happens then. So, all right, let's have a look at this here. So theme is dark, resolve theme is also dark. Then when we click it, it basically tells that to go. All right, let's have a look at that. Mounted true, themes become dark. We get a SVG that is gone now. If I click here, then it goes to set theme. If the theme is dark, then we go with light, otherwise dark. So if I go here, can I just go to the, which file was it? Next themes. Is it the same one? I think it's the same one. Set theme. What does set theme do? It is assigned to V. Wee. What is V? Match the case. No, I can't really go with V. It's gonna be too much. Is there something called document dot? So get computed style. Da, 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 da. Hmm. So this is where it should. Can you please let me click? D.add. Can I click here? No, I can't. No, no. All right. So this says, all right, use memo, blah, blah, blah. But then here, can I do this? Yes. 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 So if I now refresh, let's see. All right. So O should be class. Then we should have something like set attribute, blah, blah, blah. If we do, no. So N becomes dark. Okay. And then do we go by dark? Something like, okay, dark mode means we are doing class. That's why. Is Next.js worth learning after React? Yes, it is. The only question I have is why would this not work out of the box? That's not good. And it's too much time. I would have to log off. We are about two hours into the stream. But I have to figure out why would this not apply when it comes to just refreshing the app. The light mode works fine. The dark mode does not. But the thing is, the light mode is the default one. Could some the wrong conditioning? I'm not really sure. The thing is, if I refresh here, you can see that there is no class applied to the HTML, right? Or even the body. But that's a good question. Let's see actually how this used to work before here. So if I have a look at, and if I refresh here, you can see that the class dark is automatically applied here. If I go to light mode, refresh, the class light is applied on the HTML. In this particular case, where I am in the next 13 version, by the way, this looks super weird. This looks weird, so weird. So that means the CSS of Tailwind also could be the reason why this doesn't really work. So if I look at this version, I think this looks good, but I don't know why this image looks really weird. 100 pixels. I don't really know. Okay. Anyways, so if I mouse over, the styles look good, which means Tailwind CSS should be working. You can see that this looks exactly the same. There's a bit of difference between the font as well, so I'm assuming there could be something that is wrong. But the thing is, if I refresh now here on the page, there is no class applied here. The style color scheme light is applied, but nothing else. If I click this now it gets applied, and now this is good. So if I am with dark, the class dark is never going to be applied here, and that's why I can't really see the styles. But if I go and try it here, class equals dark, then you can see everything works. So yeah, it's weird. It's super weird. And everything goes with the layout CSS with the dark color. And that's what should be fixed in this case. So I'm not 100% sure how this goes and sets the dark status in this case, or where it sets it automatically. I'm pretty sure theme provider does it behind the scenes, but to be honest, I think I would have to do some more digging into seeing, all right, what does this really do in this case. So yeah, I'm not really sure, to be honest. Let's see. The layout wrapper contains the HTML. I don't think there should be any reason why this should behave differently. The theme switch has nothing to do with it. Only the theme would have it. One of the things that we could do really, no, I'm not really sure, because the page, the layout itself is rendered on the server side, so this triggers on the client side, so we don't really have that choice. Yeah, I have to do some more research to see what we could do, but I think it's a win that we could at least have one page that is in the next 13 route, and I think we would have to gradually migrate things away from the main 12 to 13. I don't think it looks bad, but I don't think it looks good either, because I see a lot of problems in here. For example, header is supposed to have py4, right? py0 and py4. And then if I look at here, what do we have here? Why do we have a lot of padding there? So it has a padding of py4, but then the nav itself or the images, maybe they are not exactly the same. I'm not really sure. For some reason, we get this weird spacing from top. But the summary is that it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a bit difficult just migrating all of it. But I think once I do, I would have a lot of I would have a lot better understanding of Next 13, how the server components work, how do we have the app structure that could lay out a lot of things, how to work with themes in this case. So I think it's going to be a bunch of more videos to actually look around those. But yeah, I think everybody, thank you so much who joined. And yeah, let's keep in touch. And I'm gonna now go to have some dinner. I'm Super hungry. Thank you. Have fun. Allah Hafiz. Bye bye.